Hey, what's up, everybody? I just want to make a quick video about the career mode, the offline career mode for UFC 5, and just a quick set of tips and tricks that might help you out to have a good start in career mode. So here we go. All right, so first things first is you want to figure out what moves you actually want to use. If you look here, you want to try to focus on moves that only have a single, how can I say this? You want to only focus on moves that don't have different variations. I'll go back and grab an example of what I mean. Okay, so if you look right here, the jab, for example, the jab opens up into 3 different types of jabs. Now, if you start working up the jab and then decide later you want to do the back fist, you're going to have to reset your progress back to 1 star and then start learning the back fist. So if you already know in your mind, I'm going to go learn how to do the back fist, don't bother trying to spend XP on the jab. So that's just a little piece of advice. If you feel like you're okay with the jab and that's what you're going to rock with, then don't hesitate to use it. Just use it and go ahead and start upgrading right now. But 95% of the moves in this game don't have a variation to it. So things like the lead calf kick, for example, as you can see right here, there's no additional move set to this. So you can't change your calf kick into, I don't know, a spinning calf kick. Like there's no different variation. You want to find all the moves in the game like this. And that's what you want to work on inside these early first 4 fights that you have. And honestly, I would say you probably need to do this all the way through Contender Series 2, basically up until you get to the point to where you start to meet other fighters and they're willing to work with you and train on how to learn different moves. So, and that only applies to 5 or 6 different moves, which I'll put up a list and I'll show you an example of that here. I'll grab a clip of that as well. But outside of that, you want to focus on these core moves, which there's plenty to choose from. So if you're coming in as a wrestler, there's tons of different transitions you can work on, BJJ, wrestling transitions. You can go and work on your submissions, which I highly suggest, especially when you're trying to get evolution points, because one, I don't know if you saw it here. Let me back it up a little bit. I'll grab a little clip of this. The jab only gives you the level 1 jab to get out of that cost about 12,000 points. To get out of level 1 for an arm bar only costs around 500 points of XP. So that's kind of a quick cheat code. You know what I mean? Like you can go ahead and just run some of the wrestling work. And those are half the cost. Look at that arm bar. Now the second phase of it is going to cost 2,000 points. That's not even that bad. The arm triangle was like 500. Look at that. That's not even that bad. So do these in those first matches. Keep in mind with these early guys, you might be able to get away with 1 submission. And I mean as in 1 submission attempt. If you go for 2, there's a good chance you might just go ahead and end the match, because I don't think these guys have good submission defense. So go for 1 per match. Try not to overdo it and going for 2. I mean, if you want to go for it, see what happens. If it doesn't work, restart the match. But I would say try to only stick to just doing 1 submission per match. All right, cool. So now that you got your moves all figured out, let's go ahead and talk about the first 4 fights that you get into. That's the backyard fight and also the Action Avenue series. Okay, so for the first fight, you're going to have to fight in the backyard match. This one right here. And essentially, this is going to be a tip for across the board in any of these fights that you're in. You're going to want to rotate the damage that you do. Like I said, we already talked about the moves, so avoid using the jab and some of the other moves I listed unless you plan on actually keeping that move. And the rest of the moves that you're going to use, rotate those. So as you can see here, once I break down his legs so far, I'm going to switch it up and start going to the body. And I'm just going to start working that health bar down. And this dude is a pin cushion, so he can't take very many hits. So don't go throwing 10 hit combos on him because you're going to drop him. As you can see right here, I rotate to the head a little bit, drop him, immediately move to a different body part. I don't think that you can do any wrestling in this match, so don't concern yourself about that too much in this first one. But if you can go for wrestling, work that out as well. But if you can't, just stick to doing what I'm doing right here, which is just I'm rotating the head, I'm rotating the body, I'm rotating the legs, and just keep the action rolling. Now, what's going to happen in this first fight is, well, before that, as you can see here, I was actually able to get an upgrade inside this first fight, 2 upgrades inside this first fight. So you can walk away with upgrades in here, like the moves and everything is racking up XP. Now in that final minute that you get to in this first fight, you're gonna knock them out. You don't really have a choice. Like the game essentially creates like some magnetic barrier and makes you two be stuck to each other, and pretty much whatever hit you hit him with is gonna knock him out. So, but that's fine though. You spent the rest of the time working up your moves. That's all you needed to do. And looking at this fight, and I did a bad job at this. I walked away with 2 evolution upgrades, and of course there was other ones that were working their way up as well, but 2 that actually went over the top, I got credit for. So, and I made a mistake. I went for the jab. With this character, I do want a back fist, so I really didn't need to do that. But for an example's sake, if you want to keep the jab, this was a good chance to use it. And that's pretty much how you get through the first fight. Easy peasy. You really can't go wrong there. It costs you almost no longevity. You have no choice but to do this one anyway. But don't knock them out. Slow it down and rack up all your moves and use that time that they give you. Okay. Now that you come out that first backyard fight, the game is going to throw this your way and ask, hey, do you want to skip past the career onboarding? Do not do this. Like, do not skip this. I'll show you an example of what happens when you do skip it. And when you skip it, you walk away with only 60 evolution points, which is chump change in comparison to what you can walk away with if you actually go through the career onboarding process. And I know it's annoying because you have to go through all the training. It's like 40 minutes or 45 minutes of your time, but you'll see by the end of this that it's worth it. Like, matter of fact, here, let me just show you a quick thing. See, I walk away with about 340 points instead of 60 points. And that's just by going through the career onboarding. So don't skip past this. So taking all that into consideration, now look how much I have to work with. I have enough points to upgrade my blocking. I have enough points to upgrade my health, my grappling. Like, you have so much more options when you're coming in with that many evolution points. And I even have enough to buy perks as well. Well, at least 1 perk in my case for what I wanted. But that's the type of advantage I'm talking about just by not skipping to Contender series. On the other hand, as you can see right here, by the time I said and done with the way I apply my points, I'm a 2.5 star. Versus when you skip straight here, look at this. You come in as a 1.5 star. Yeah, that's a huge difference, man. So do not sleep on doing the action avenue. I know it's annoying because you have to go through and do all the training bits again. And it's about 45 minutes of your time overall, especially going through all the rounds and everything like that. But honestly, you're walking away with a huge head start with almost no downside, because in those matches, like, you would really have to do something wrong to give up longevity for your career. And you have to really do something wrong to not walk away with a good amount of evolution points. Okay, so that's all the tips that I have for the very first section of career mode. I'm going to go back in to see if there's anything else I notice as well. And if I do, I'll make another one of these and hopefully it'll help you out. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a good one.
Show me something